if you take such great care in training your team to communicate and be so guest-centric about everything you do, they'll follow through. Every part of your business, every communication should be that way. And this is so far away from that. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, Rich, welcome to another episode of Feedback Matters. And specifically, this is a follow-up to the last episode, which was episode 8 of So You Want My Feedback, where I went through a guest experience survey from a hotel that we stayed at about a month ago. So I know you watched that episode, correct?
Correct.
And I will put a link in the description for the YouTube channel as well as in the audio podcast feed so that people can get to that original episode. But I wanted to talk about it specifically because there was a follow-up. I got a follow-up email after I submitted the survey. So first of all, just to recap very quickly, people can go back and watch or listen to it. But the basic idea was we had a great stay at this hotel. Everything about the stay was fantastic. Everything about the hotel was fantastic. And then we got this follow-up survey. And my takeaway was that it was very, it scratched the surface. It didn't cover very much. It was, I kind of felt like they were going through the motions. So did you have any thoughts about what I said in my...
I'm curious, first of all, how long after you hit the submit button did you get the email?
Hold on. I could tell you that right now.
And a follow-up question to that is there any possibility that was an automated reply, or was there a personal, message?
I would say that it might be automated in that it was triggered by my feedback. Let me read. I'll tell you what. It was about a week after I submitted the survey. It was, okay. I believe it was 6 days.
So somebody had time to evaluate what you wrote.
Theoretically, humans could have intervened and looked at the data that my survey generated, and then triggered this or wrote this. But I will read it to you. So it's from, just as the name of the hotel again, for anybody who's new to this channel or the series, we don't talk about the names of the businesses, whether they're hotels or restaurants, because we're not here to expose who's doing this. It's all about the technique and the methodology and best practices of asking guests for feedback. So it's just says from and then the name of the hotel. And interestingly, this is something that I don't believe we've talked about in the series, but you can't reply to this. It's a no reply at, and interestingly, it's not at the hotel's name. The email domain is actually, it's a marketing company. They're not a survey company. I'm not going to mention them either because again, It's not what it's about. But it's a no reply at the marketing company, so you can't reply to it. Right. That said, the subject is regarding your survey of the name of the hotel. That says, "Dear, my name, thank you kindly for this great feedback regarding your recent stay with us. If you feel so inclined, we would greatly appreciate you posting this information to our online review board at TripAdvisor. Great reviews help us improve our rating and secure more bookings. So if you have the time, we'd love to hear from you there. Attached is our hotel's link for your convenience. And then there's a link to their TripAdvisor review page. Warmly, it's signed warmly, and then it does give the name and title of the general manager.
Huh.
So I'll let you weigh in on that.
First reaction, my first reaction is they're being honest in saying to you that, I want your rating because it's going to increase my business.
Exactly.
He didn't lie and say it's going to improve my business. It's just going to increase my business.
Correct.
So in a way, at least he's being honest. but it's pure marketing. It's pure. They're not. I don't think he's. I mean, you don't know behind the scenes if they used your feedback to improve certain areas, or to share that feedback with certain department heads, or whatever.
But if you go back to it, there's not enough detail to get anything out of it.
Yeah. No, I remember you said that, and I don't know, that kind of turns me off.
Kinda. It
Yeah,
completely turned me off. And again, it was
yeah,
a wonderful experience. We loved the hotel.
yeah.
We thought
They
it
don't
was
care,
fantastic. It exceeded our expectations.
right?
And yet, I mean,
They don't care. They don't
we
care.
can go into this. We've gone into this. I think on the podcast, and certainly in our for all these years that we've done this. It's like, really,
That's
it's all about what you can do for us. Thank you for
right,
saying. Can you do some more for us?
right. Yeah,
Thanks for
no,
your business. Can you help us get more business?
that's that just shows that it's all part of marketing effort. We talked about this a million times. So now you can be, now I don't know what the average person's going to think who's not in the business. So our opinions are always influenced a little bit because we're in the business.
Probably a lot, not a little.
Probably a
Probably
lot. Yeah, a lot. But will that annoy the average person? Maybe, maybe not.
I don't know. And you know what? I don't know. And
But you
we're
know
all
what, Jeff? It doesn't matter because we're looking at it to help our long game is to help the hotels improve their business, improve their property by being aware of downfalls that the guests notice and are willing to, give their feedback about.
and accentuate the good things
And
too.
this is not, yeah, and this is, you can get 100, you can get a 5-star rating on your restaurant, and that helps you run your restaurant. Your food is great. This is, if you know what your strong points are, you can improve them. You could build on them. And
Correct.
just like if you know what your weak points are. So that doesn't seem to be a concern of theirs.
No, no. I just it's amazing. It's amazing to me.
That's as we're talking and I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that's I don't know that we've ever seen. Have we ever seen something like that before?
I think we've seen it, but this is so stark. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
it's stark for two reasons. One, the survey just it was clear that they were not interested in actual feedback. They were just interested. They were fishing for compliments.
yeah,
And
yeah,
once they got the compliments, the goal of the compliment was to get more positive reviews
yeah.
and help us get more. It says, help us get more bookings. Great reviews
No,
help
that's the line
improve
that
our
got me.
rating and secure more bookings. So if you have the time, we'd love to hear from you there.
Yeah.
Oh my
All
goodness.
they had to do is change that phrase.
Yeah.
Improve our business. That's all. To improve our business. You know why? Because getting more bookings is one way to improve your business.
The byproduct of all the other things.
I'm just saying. So if they just use that phrase instead of get more bookings, improve my business, you could sort of let it slide a bit.
We've said this so many times over 20 plus years, but this is the last contact I've had with this hotel.
Yes.
And
Yes.
everything about this hotel was fantastic. Every interaction with staff, and there was a lot of interaction with staff. We were there 3 full days, 3 nights, 3 full days, and there was a lot of interaction. And every person that I know that I talked to, and there were multiple, they were so professional. They were so eager to please. They were great in the way they communicated.
Right.
And this is just so different from that.
Yeah.
It
That's
was
the last taste in
the
people's
whole experience was about what they could do for us while we were there. And this is completely the opposite. What can you do for us? You've just spent X, whatever the number was, three nights. It was a couple of rooms. It wasn't only us. It was a couple of family members too. And all they care about is what else can you do for us? Thanks for all your money. Thanks for your stay, and help us get more bookings.
Yeah.
Just a blatant ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, such a turn on.
It
When I go back
definitely,
there, I'd only go back there if I needed to be in that area. And I honestly might look somewhere else just because of that.
right.
Again, is it because of what I do for a living?
Yeah, well,
Maybe.
you're certainly more sensitive to it than the average person.
Yes.
But that said, I could see the average person saying, I got to help you. I just spent thousands of dollars and I got to help you. Come on.
Right. So,
Um, people are a little cynical at times. I don't know. I'm not, I wouldn't be happy with that. And neither were you, clearly.
no, very unhappy with that.
Um,
So,
and that's just not the way to do things. Uh,
no,
you know,
if you take such great care in training your team to communicate and be so guest centric about everything you do, the follow through every part of your business, every communication should be that way. And
yeah,
this is so far away from that.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Terrible. Anyway, so that's it.
Well,
That's
we've had experience before. You mentioned the fellow in Texas. I won't mention his name or
we
his
talked about this.
hotel.
Yeah, off.
Wait, what's that?
So I mean, we talked about this in an offline conversation,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh, that was awful. Yeah, but I mean, it touches on the fact that so this guy, just for the folks who are listening, didn't want to pursue doing business with us, and he didn't care for our service because he knew everything. He knew his guests. He knew the people who came, and he had a pretty good sized hotel. So it wasn't like it was a bed and breakfast where he had the same 20 to 30 repeat customers all the time. And he had no interest and no belief that he could learn anything from a follow-up survey. And these guys don't seem they could, like they think they might learn something too about, how to improve their business and
They don't need to. I guess they
we
don't
make it
need to.
easy for them. And other
They don't
folks
need
do it. There are other folks who do what we do, but we make it very, very easy for them to learn and to utilize the feedback. We don't collect it for nothing. We collect it so they could use it. Uh,
Well, to your point though about the guy in Texas that you're talking about, it was a long time ago. It was probably 15 years ago
yeah, well,
ish. So that was a different time. So that actually raises another point. He was not doing, I don't think he was even doing paper comment cards at the time. He was certainly doing no surveys at all. So he didn't see the value of feedback in any way, shape, or form. And specifically, what I wanted to raise is that online reviews were not that important at that time. The
true.
one similarity between that situation and this situation was that they were both in geographic areas or markets where there was very little competition for the level of service that those hotels provide. So they knew what they had to do to, attract the higher end guests, and they're both obviously very good at doing that. But to just say that in his case, to say I know what my guests want, over time you're not going to know. There was no harm at the time in trying to just get a little bit more information, and certainly now when reviews are so important, these
Right.
people, what will happen is either a competitor will come in that will um, um, meet or exceed the level of service that they provide, or facilities get tired, and sometimes the guests are the ones who point it out, but they're not asking enough questions to understand that. So
Yeah.
they will be reactive instead of proactive by sending out this survey that they're just going through the motions, because now everybody sends out a survey. But as long as you're sending one out, send out one that's meaningful, right?
Yeah. I mean, we always had to fight the marketing companies that included a survey within their marketing products.
That's what this is.
And right. And we lost some battles and won some battles, but
Right.
it's two different philosophies. And clearly, this guy considers a feedback survey as just one little, card in his deck of marketing materials. And
Right.
also very important what you brought up before. This is the last engagement that you're going to have with this hotel. And it quite clearly could be a negative one after a great stay.
Right. Again, I'm more sensitive to it. I get that, but certainly no one's going to say, "Wow, I'm really glad that they asked me so many questions about my
Right.
feedback." And then I get this follow-up and say, "Oh, I'm happy to go out there and help them book more rooms."
Yeah. And by the way,
that's what I'm here for, is to help them book more rooms.
and by the way, don't reply. That's another thing.
You can't reply.
I know. By the way, don't reply.
Right.
Even more so, I don't care what you have to say. Just get me some more bookings.
Right. And not that I mean, in this day and age, how easy is it? You're putting the general manager's name on it, which is good. We always like to have that personalized signature, but don't hide behind a no reply. How easy is it to just have a generic mailbox that even has the name of the person or general manager at the name of the hotel, and have an assistant handle it,
right,
manage it. It doesn't have to be their actual personal email address.
No, GM and hotel.
This is don't reply. Just don't reply. You can't reply.
I think that's a big thing, actually. I think that's a big thing. That's a big mistake.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Meanwhile, they have great reviews on TripAdvisor, which I guess that's all they care about. And they run a good hotel. They do run a good hotel. Anyway, so that's it for this follow-up to that episode. So I don't know if we'll call it episode 8A or 9. I don't know. But we're going to come back because I have another one we're going to do. But I've always done these on my own. But now that you're back in the fold, I think we should do one together. We can go through this.
Okay. I'd be glad to.
So everybody, thanks for listening to us and watching us, and we'll see you again soon on another episode of Feedback Matters. Take care.
Bye, guys.